Peace stars, this is your boy Eru, host of the DiehardKnicks podcast. But this is not the Knicks. We're going to be talking about football of all things on the DiehardKnicks podcast. So this is something a little bit different. It's more like a variety show type of thing. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. It's DiehardKnicks podcast. Let's go. Yeah, man. So literally, I got the Knicks jersey in the back. I still got the DiehardKnicks stuff in the background. But we literally are going to talk about something other than the Knicks, man.
You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah, it's a little weird, man. But we're trying to get a little bit of extra, algorithm from other sources, man. Let's just bring the guys in here. So I'll bring in Jerrell first. What's good, Jerrell?
What up, Eru?
Better late than never, but on time and ready to go, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I came in soon as the last second before 7:00. But yeah, I'm good to be here.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. And we got the man here. We got Leo Valentin.
Yo.
What's good, my brother?
What's good, Eru? Jerrell, what's going on, brother?
What up, bro?
I like that hat, B. I like that hat. That
You a
Yankees
Yankee
fitted.
fan?
Yes, you know it, baby.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
I think the only thing that we disagree on is football, but everything else,
Okay. Yeah, we're
I-
gonna get into that.
I feel bad for y'all, but
You should feel bad for us. I feel bad for us too.
I feel bad for both of you guys to be fans of the Jets and the Giants. I'm right in between. I'm really a Giants fan, but I fuck with the Jets. The
Okay.
Jets are good as long as they're winning. Like the Kenyon, what was it? Kenyon Martin, whatever his guy's name was. The running back of the Jets, Curtis Martin.
Curtis
There you
Martin,
go.
yeah.
Hey, yo, fam, that's like 20 years ago. What are you talking about?
There it is. they don't call us the Die Hard Jets podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's like me talking about the Dave Meggett days, bro.
yeah, word.
Yeah,
Or
that was-
Tiki Barber, yeah. Yeah, that was kind of like Tiki Barber time, maybe a little bit before Curtis Martin. But yeah, he's a legend, man. I'm similar to you, Eru. My dad is a Giants fan. Like, he's a New York fan, so I root for the Giants. But I'm mainly a Jets fan. If they play each other, I'm rooting for the Jets. But I'll watch the Giants games and stuff like that.
Any Mets fans in the building?
No, sir. Maybe in the chat.
Same. I'll root for the Mets, but if they play the Yankees, I'm definitely going Yankees. Because there's no real rivalry between the Giants, Jets, Mets, Yankees, right? They don't
Not
play
really.
each other throughout the year, and the only time is like when they're in the World Series together facing each other, and then it's just good for New York. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Nobody give a damn about that shit though. Like that's the one thing about the Nets. If we could talk about the Brooklyn Nets, the reason why I don't really like the Nets is because they came here trying to separate us, and we don't do that. We really don't do that here. We really like our teams and stuff. But if the Mets were in the World Series, I think everybody would be with it. So yeah, go. We'll be cheering for them. We won't be
Right.
hating the way that people be hating on teams like that.
I won't be hating, but I wouldn't be cheering for them though. I'm not gonna lie.
So I feel you.
I mean, because just like we think about the Nets, the Mets are the Nets for us, for me, because
Yeah.
I'm a Yankees fan. It's almost like that with the Jets, but like Lee said, we really don't have a rivalry at all
right.
because we're just like in two different leagues. We're on two
Yeah.
different sides of the bracket, so we don't really have a rivalry.
Yeah, I don't think Jets fans are trying to big brother the Giants. It's not like we trying to inch our way in and shit on the Giants. Whereas like Mets fans will always shit on the Yankees because they have little brother syndrome. I don't think
Yeah,
the Jets are really about that. But going back to the Nets, I think their biggest mistake was just choosing the Brooklyn name, right? Maybe if they would have said we're the New York Nets or something like that, it might have been different. I don't know. I have kids who grew up in Jersey, and we went to Nets games when they were the New Jersey Nets, but I can't fuck with the Brooklyn Nets like that. I mean, I don't really pay attention to them, but I can't really get down like that. Like, I'll root for the Mets or root for the Giants. Not really gonna root for the Mets.
yeah. I'm actually a transplant. I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I actually grew up around the Trenton, New Jersey area.
Okay.
Never went to a Nets game in my life. I would never, because I'm still from New York. Like, I will always be a Knicks fan. I never went to a Nets game when I was in Jersey at all.
Hmm. But you know, a lot of people from down that area, from like South Jersey, are closer to Philly, so they're like
Right.
Eagles, Sixers fans and stuff like
Yep.
that. So that I get. Yeah,
Most of the people I grew up with were Sixers fans and
yeah,
Eagles fans and stuff like that. Phillies fans.
yeah. Because Trenton is what, half hour, 45-minute ride
Yep.
away from Philly, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Half hour.
yeah.
Yeah, all those townships and shit like that. I hate going. I got family over there, so I
Oh,
hate
really?
going over there because you think in New Jersey that they would be like
Hmm.
mentally you're thinking they would like the New York teams, but is it nah, man?
Oh,
Philly's
no.
down the block, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You
It's
know,
Yeah,
saying
completely different.
you're the wrong place right now.
yeah.
Completely different. Because I actually live in PA, but I'm like right outside of Trenton, New Jersey. But it's still
Okay.
like I could get to like Northeast Philly in like 20, 25 minutes.
So let me
Yeah,
ask
like
this then: you guys care about that the New York teams are not actually in New York; they're actually in New Jersey? Does that play? Did you guys think about that ever?
Nah, because I mean, they was always there since we was there. So, since I was born at least. So, nah, I don't think about that. It's all about space. Like, we're from
yeah,
the city. Where would you put it?
yeah.
There's a
If
few
you didn't,
places.
man, like the Manhattan when they were thinking about Hudson Yards, the Jets were, but the Jets were the real team that were from New York because they played at Shea Stadium. So
Right.
Yeah.
they're, if anything, they're the real. And I know people from Buffalo are like, nah, we the only real New York, but that shit don't count.
Yeah, no, no, no.
But
We don't
technically,
count.
they're,
We
they're
don't
the
count
only
y'all
ones
at
that really
all.
got roots down in New York, though. Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like little Toronto. They're like
Little
big.
yeah, exactly.
Toronto.
They're like down the
Yeah,
block
that
from each
makes
other.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't. You guys don't.
You don't find that suspicious?
They're just in New Jersey. They're sharing the building. They're like bunk bed brothers. You know, Giants and
Yo,
Jets.
fam, it's not that they sharing a building; they're sharing a crappy building too. Like we the number one market on earth, and our building is garbage. We
Yeah.
might have the like. I don't. It's not like I've been to all the stadiums, but from what people say, we have like the worst stadium in the league, and it's not even that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
best thing
agree.
about it is might be the tailgating, right?
Now, the best thing about it is me staying home and watching it on TV. That's what the best thing
Yeah.
about it to me.
I get to maybe one or two Jets games a year, and there was a spell where I was going to. A friend of ours had the luxury Giants tickets, so I would take advantage, like the field tickets. So I would take advantage of that at least once a year. But there was a time where I was going to more Giants games than Jets games. But it's not that great of a stadium, and it's hard. And like Jerrell, I haven't really been to. I've been to a lot of the baseball stadiums, not
Hmm.
very many of the football stadiums. But yeah, I hear the same thing that it's not that great.
Yeah, it's not.
So, yo, Jerrell, you play football, right? So, tell us more about that. Tell us about your football stuff.
Yeah, I played football. High school All American. Got recruited D1 with the Florida State. Transferred to Marshall. Didn't really love football like that, so I got out of it. But in my early 20s, I played like semi-pro for a little bit, for like a couple years. But then I got completely out of it. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Like I have a background in football, but I haven't been in football in years though.
Okay. Okay. So, what soured your taste about football?
Uh, Honestly, way we were treated. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie, but that's a completely different podcast because I went to the school that I went to when I went to Florida State. Let's just say is a big wake up call going coming from like a small town because I told you I grew up around Trenton, New Jersey, but it was in a township called Ewing Township, Trenton, New Jersey.
Mm.
So the competition wasn't that big, but I basically got recruited because of my size and athleticism and stuff. It had nothing to do about my competition. So when I got there, it was a huge wake up call. We're basically treated like cattle when you step on that when you step on
Wow,
the campus.
wow, that is pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool, and it's good that you say that because that's not something you hear a lot where people are. You're talking about high school All American and your local township. But then when you go up a level, it's like the best. You're playing
Yep.
against every all high school All American,
Yep.
and then a step above that, the league is the best of the best of the best. So
Man, when I was a junior in high school, we had a scrimmage against Ron Dane in Overbrook High School. So he was a senior and he was a running back. Obviously, he went on to win the Heisman, but he was really like 6'2", 6'3", 255 pounds running the 40 in like a 4.5.
Yeah, wow.
So I had to tackle his big ass, man. But the thing is, I was actually bigger than him, but he was like the athleticism was unmatched. Like I played against a lot of good players in my day.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
What was the best player you ever played against?
Probably him. He won a Heisman Trophy and went to the league. So yeah, pretty much him. I played a lot AAU basketball a lot too because I'm 6'4", so I was tall. So I wasn't that good, but I was at least on the team. So like I played AAU basketball against pretty much anybody in the tri-state area, like in '96, '97.
Okay.
Like Shaheem Holloway, he was a best point guard in the nation in '96. I played against him in AAU. He killed us. Like he was the number one point guard in the country when he was a senior in high school. And he went to St. Patrick's. Like I remember all that.
Powerhouse back in the days.
Yep. St. Patrick's, St. John's, or was it St. Joe's? I think it was
St. Joe's.
Yeah, St. Joe's. St. Joe's and St. Patrick's. Like they was a monster every year for us.
Didn't Al Harrington go to St.
St.
Patrick's
Patrick.
too? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Like he was there like a couple years after that. I think he's either a year younger than me or we're the same age. But Shaheem Holloway was the man when I was in high school. When I was a junior, he was a senior.
Look at that, and he's now taking over Seton Hall coaching. That's how fast we get old, bro.
I'm old as hell. I'm looking at it because I'm a North Carolina fan, so we went up against him in St. Peter's. So like I'm rooting for him, but I'm like I hope we wipe the floor with him, and we did.
Right.
It was cool and everything, but it's cool seeing him, being at that level and pretty much Seton Hall is his dream job, so he should be good.
Yeah, good for him, man.
So what's your tangle with sports, man? I know you're a Jets guy, but what's your story with sports?
I played baseball all throughout going through high school. Once I got to college, I was gonna walk on, but there was a kid who was All American who played the same position as me, so I kind of gave up at that point. But then I started playing in what's considered like AAU for baseball in the city and out here and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I played some like semi-pro ball and stuff like that. But it was just by the time I decided to take it serious, I was already too late. And I just played recreationally till I was like 27 or something like that. But yeah, I gave up way too soon on the sport, man. And again, it's just like anything else. Like I was telling you earlier, if you don't put your all into it, or even if you don't have the belief, like Jerrell was saying, man, he saw dudes at a different level, and here I am trying to walk on. And I probably would have made the team, but I just gave up mentally.
Yep.
Even before I gave myself the chance to do that. And I just thought I was going to show up and be nice, but it just don't work out that way. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, nah, I got how you show up and you got the fit, like, my pants and the socks was right. I had the glove. I was looking, look good, feel good, but nah, you gotta put in that work, man. It don't work like that. But yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely commit, but it worked out. It worked out.
What position did you play?
I played all over, man. My growing up, I had to play everywhere because if you wanted to get on the field, you had to be able to play any and everywhere because everybody was good. The level of competition was there. So I had to be able. But mostly it was like second, short, third. But I tried to. Every team I was on, I tried to play everywhere.
Nice.
You get that cattle thing that Jerrell was talking about? You get that cattle feeling?
Yeah, because if there's so many good players that you can be replaced easily, right? Your fear is one mess up, and we talk a lot about Obi, right? Let's just use the example for basketball. Like Obi, one mistake and he's on the bench. You can be replaced at any time, and they're just bringing in. There's 1,000 dudes who are 6'4", 250 running a 4. And it's just you got to be mentally tough, and you just got to have that extra thing, or you will be replaced.
Yep. When I graduated, I was 6'4", 255, and I ran the 40 in a 4.68. I was not special when I stepped in Tallahassee, Florida. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
wow.
Regular dude.
Not special at all. Like, I'm special around here, yeah, but out there, when that's a football factory. Like, you're not special. Like, you have to be a world class athlete in order to be special when you step on a football field at that level.
Yeah, but you know what? I got to say, Jerrell, it's even an accomplishment getting to say that you got to Florida State, and you like sometimes we don't give ourselves a break, or we don't give ourselves the kudos that we deserve, because just being a high school All-American is a big deal. So we don't want to minimize those things. Like being able to go to Florida State or even go anywhere D1 is a big accomplishment. So shout out to you for that, man.
Thank you, sir.
It's a big deal.
Thank you.
Absolutely. While you doing D1, I'm at in Brooklyn doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my secret stash on the side, smoking everything.
I do that now. I do that now. I was a late bloomer when I was a teenager. No drinking, no smoking. I didn't start doing any of that until I was in my 30s, bro. Like I was like my body's my temple type of dude.
Yeah.
By the time I graduated high school, man, I was already a full blown thing. I don't want to say junkie, but I can't think of another word for it. But I was basically a freaking slacker. You know what I'm saying? I was smoking weed and trying to stick my
that wasn't
thing
my
in
crowd,
any hole I
bro.
could stick it in.
I was
Female.
like the music crowd, the sports crowd. I wasn't in the smokers crowd. I didn't touch that stuff until I was well into my 30s. That's crazy. Okay. Now I touch it every day.
Like for me, man, I was telling Lee before we came on. For me, it was always about basketball, So for me, I didn't take it serious until my senior year of high school. So I finally figured it. I finally figured out when they do, what do they call it? When they do like the tryouts and stuff like that. Conditioning. There you go, conditioning. So it started in August. So this whole time in high school, I didn't know when it started. So I finally figured out it started in August. So I rode my bike from where I lived at in Brooklyn all the way to my school. And I was participating, and I was out working everybody. I didn't, my hair was crazy and stuff like that. I was just showing up like a crazy madman because I really wanted to make the team. So anyway, I made it to the last cut, and the coach cut me. And the reason why he cut me because he said, "Yo, dude, where have you been like in like the last 4 years?" It's like, I never heard of you before. I never seen you before. Never seen you in the gym playing. Now you just pop up at the thing, and I find out you were a senior in the school. Like, where the fuck were you this whole time?
So you were just playing street ball on the street?
Yeah, we used to attack the school team. At the time, I went to Nazareth in Brooklyn,
Okay.
So they were like a Division II, I think, when they talk about the Catholic League, they weren't in the top league, that like Bishop Lachlan and them, they were in the top league. But we were like, I think, second tier or whatever. So anyway, we used to really battle those guys in the park across the street from Nazareth, man. But that last tryout, the reason why I didn't make it because there was so many guys that had scholarships and to D3 schools and that type of thing. So that's my basketball thing. Then also too, the same thing happened like years later. I went to BMCC and I just popped up, walked on and stuff like that, and I actually made the team. And the guy was like the same thing. He was like, "Yo, I never heard of you before. Like nobody knows who you are. I don't see you in no tournaments and nothing. I don't see you doing this, that. You just popped up here at the school and like you might be like my backup point guard for the years. Like what the hell? Where did you come from? But then right after that, I started messing around again. So that was the end of my basketball career.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's all about opportunity, but it's good to like you said, when you get a certain age, like us, we're all about the same age. When you get a certain age, you can look back at how ill it was, and really appreciate the journey of some of these athletes that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. You if you played like I played basketball, football, baseball throughout high school and stuff like that, you have a different appreciation when you go against dudes who are D1 and above, and you have a different appreciation for what it takes. So we may talk a lot of shit about the athletes, but deep down there's an appreciation for what it is that they do and the work that they put in, man.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and State, on the regular pod, we do a lot of like clowning, So this is my new thing here. This is Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau, Jack, this is face right there. So I'm gonna be going into this a lot.
Yo,
because
get your Joker
like
Tibbs from, man.
I got a plug, man.
That's
But
crazy.
it's the thing. We can say that because we know the game and we love it so much. You know, and a lot of us we played it, but a lot of times you don't have to play it. We just love the game so much as fans that we might as well have played like 15 years in the NBA and stuff like that.
Yeah,
We can go back and forth with the experts and critique them and really tell them that they don't know what the hell they're doing.
That's true. Like being able to play has nothing to do with being able to critique and analyze the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Most of the best coaches ain't the best players.
Right.
In every sport.
Yeah.
Well, my man Jerrell, my man Lee, he got the Jets T-shirt, man. So what's your critique about these Jets, man? What's going on with them right now?
I'm an optimistic fan, man. I always think the best of the team, no matter the team I root for, man. I always see the best until the end of the year when they ass, and that's when I'm like, all right, they ass. But there's always next year.
So you don't got no premeditated ass?
No.
You don't think so?
No, you know why? Because especially in football, you never know. Like, who knew after 2 years ago the Bengals being terrible and them being terrible for not making the playoffs for the last 15 years or so? They come out. So football is a completely different animal. Once you have a terrible season, the next season you get a lesser strength of schedule. It's about momentum and confidence in football a lot of times, and you can get on a win streak and just roll. So, I never count my team out until about game 4. And then I'm like, oh, here we go again.
So you give them a nice month.
Yeah, I give them a little quarter of a season, you know what I'm saying, to see what they're going to do. But I'm always optimistic, man. So I always here's the difference between this year, last year, and the past few years, right? So it's well known, Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010, 2011, when they went, they were knocking on the door of going to the Super Bowl. And, just the decisions of QB or head coach or, GM, they just haven't been aligned. And I feel like now we're finally starting to see, similar to the Knicks, we're starting to see things go in the right direction. So that's my hope, right? Because foundationally, that's what you need. No matter who was, let's take the Giants. Let's take the Steelers, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Mike Tomlin's going to be the head coach. They're going to draft a killer wide receiver, because they know what they do and they're very good at it. They have a plan, right? And that's the first time in a long time that I've seen that with the Jets, where the GM, the coach, and ownership are all on the same page. They're building from the line. And they're building the team the right way, the way they told us they were gonna build the team. Fortunately for us, Joe Douglas talks to us a lot more than Leon Rose does. But he's given us he's already drafted well. He's put us in a position where we see little wins. Right, last year's draft was like incredible. We had a whole bunch of starters on the team. We got the quarterback of the future. We have good position players who are all young and under their rookie deals. So I think it's going to be all up from here.
So, what do you think about all that, Jerrell?
In terms of the Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Joe Douglas because he's an ex offensive lineman, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. So that's his area of expertise. So the lineman that he picked so far in the draft has been good, especially Becton, but I think, he has a injury problem, so we'll see how he does. The guard that they picked, Vera Tucker.
Vera Tucker, yeah.
Yeah, Vera Tucker is good,
man.
Phenomenal
last year, yeah.
Yeah, so far Joe Douglas has been good at drafting. It's all about Zach Wilson now.
Yeah. I mean, he went out in free agency and got a right guard to help on the right side of the line. Fant had a phenomenal season. George Fant had a phenomenal season at right tackle at left tackle, actually, replacing Becton, who's, like you said, has some injuries. So Fant hopefully will move to the right side with the new right guard that we picked up, Laken Tomlinson from the 49ers. So once the line is solidified, man, you have a whole lot more options there. It's just like the Giants, right? Like, a lot of Giants fans think that Eli was shit. And, he wasn't protected and they didn't have a run game. So
Right.
no quarterback, I don't care who you are, can be successful without a good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Douglas is addressing that.
Right. Cool.
That's what's up. So I mean, Jerrell, you used to play. So how do you watch football? Do you watch it from like a player standpoint, or did you just completely pull yourself out of that whole thing?
I watched it like everything standpoint. I'm calling out plays. I know what's going to happen sometimes before it happens, especially on offense because I was a tight end. So offense is really my area of expertise when it comes to that stuff. In terms of the Giants, yeah, I think it's almost like the opposite of what Lee feels because we have a whole new regime and we had like a Sith Lord dealing with our team for the past 4 years in David Gettleman. We got him out of here, so now Joe Shane is at the helm, and honestly, we have no idea what's gonna happen because this is his first time. He's a young GM, his first time at having a GM job. He was assistant at Buffalo. He hired his man Brian Dable to be the head coach, but we can't expect us to look like Buffalo. So in terms of when it comes to Giants fans, we have no idea what we're gonna look like. Like we since Dave Gettleman ruined our team in terms of cap space. Also, we weren't able to get any free agents. At least no like marquee names. We got a whole bunch of people that I've never heard of, especially on the line because our line was garbage.
Well, you got the guy from Buffalo. You got a lineman from Buffalo. Didn't you get a lineman from that might have been with Tennessee as well?
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he was almost like it's those moves for like stability. They might not even start next year.
Mm,
Those are just for stability because a lot of them, at least the couple linemen that they have, they usually stay healthy. So that was our hang up for the last couple years. We didn't have healthy linemen all season for like the last 3 years.
right. Mm.
Like the only bright spot on our line is Andrew Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah.
He had a terrible rookie season.
Yeah.
Second season, he first part of the year he was a little shaky, but all of a sudden the light switch went up, and he might be a Pro Bowler in the future. But other than
Yeah.
that, we can have four completely new starters on the line.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about this guy, John Feliciano?
The offensive, well, who's that? The offensive line coach, the new one.
No, he's they signed him to be he's a guard, but I guess he's gonna play center. I heard them talking about he's gonna play center.
Oh, that's okay. John Felicia. I'm sorry. He's the guard that he played guard at Buffalo, right?
Buffalo. Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
says the position he wants to play. He was their backup center.
Right.
He's never played center before, like for a long term basis. So if he's our starting center, it will be the first time he played center for a whole year. So that's what I'm saying. These dudes are backups. They're good. They're just good chess pieces that have on the board, but they still might not. None of them might start next year. We might draft three offensive linemen that might start next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one thing that's always been great about the Giants is the D line and getting to the quarterback, man. And I don't see that. I haven't seen that, in the last few years being able to get to the quarterback. So there's a lot of like, where do you go first, right? Do you go because you got IK, um, the kid, the lineman, I think out of NC State, and then you got Thibodeau, who's an edge, and then you got Johnson, who's also an edge out of Florida State. So
Mm-hmm.
where do you think the Giants go?
I would hope. Well, it depends because we have 5 and 7,
5 and 7,
right?
yeah.
So if we have 5 and 7, we have multiple options especially with an offensive tackle, because there's three offensive tackles that's going to be probably in the top 10, which is Cross, um, the kid from NC State,
Hmm.
and Evan Neal from
Evan
Alabama.
Neal, yeah, yeah,
Personally, I want Evan Neal because Evan Neal is the type of player that can play guard and tackle. He played guard in Alabama, but he's ended up being their starting left tackle. He grew a little bit, so he's huge now. He's like 6'8", 340 or something like that. So he can be our right tackle for the next 15 years. So I would like him at 5 just to get him, because if we don't get him at 5, somebody could either jump us at 7 and take the Panther spot at 6 and get him. But I want Evan Neal. I also want Sauce Gardner also. But I
Yeah,
actually think
that's
the
the
Jets.
problem.
I actually think the Jets are going to pick Sauce Gardner at the number 4 pick. That's my pick for. That's like my mock for
Um,
y'all at 4.
if KT is gone, or I don't, they're looking KT Johnson because it's been ages since we've had an edge. Like we got Carl Lawson last year on the on in free agency, but he got hurt with an Achilles last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't had an edge rusher in a long time, and there's two who can go in the top 5. So I think that's where they go first. Luckily, we have the 10th pick, but I don't think Sauce gets past you guys. And if
Okay.
we don't take Thibodeau or the or IK, the dude from the lineman from NC State, then
NC State.
yeah, I don't see us taking I don't see us taking Sauce.
You really don't see you taking Sauce by like who's y'all starting cornerbacks?
Brian, we got Bryce Hall, who's been
Okay.
phenomenal for us out of Auburn. So the last 2 years he's been great. But I think, O line and getting an edge is so much more important than,
Okay.
you know, than yeah, there goes the mark right there, Ikem. Yeah, I don't think and actually Kyle Hamilton would sound like a terrible pick for the Giants.
Don't do that. If the
Yeah,
Giants pick Kyle Hamilton in the Giants, I'm gonna be pissed.
yeah, I don't. I mean, wait, do you guys still have Peppers?
Nah,
Do
he
you guys
went to
still have?
New England.
Okay, all right. So maybe there is a need, but that's the problem with so many, positional needs. You got
Mm-hmm.
to take linemen or a generational talent who can rush the quarterback.
Now, if Hutchinson and Thibodeau go in the top 3, you picking Johnson at 4? Because I watch a lot of college football, so I'm a Florida State fan. So he went to Florida State. He's nice. I don't know if I'm picking him at 4 though. Like I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
big boy
I,
got him at 12. Yeah,
I think honestly, if Hutchinson and Hutchinson is not even going to be on the board, and
No.
Ikem might not even be on the board, but if Hutchinson and Thibodeau are off the board, that
Mm-hmm.
means that I think they're going O line.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know if you go Sauce, especially after, the Jets have a history of taking defensive linemen and corners or safeties early in the draft, and then we miss out on all these generational players, right? Like Jamal Adams was the 6th pick.
Right.
There was a year, maybe like 2013, where they selected this kid out of Alabama, and it's just been terrible. So I think you go with um, best player, but the need is there at offensive tackle. You can't go wrong at OT.
What about Trayvon Walker? You like have you seen a lot of him because he blew
Ah,
up at the combine? Like he didn't have a lot of production in school, but at the combine he's basically a monster
yeah,
physically.
I don't think they go there.
Okay.
I mean they could, but I haven't seen him in anybody's mock going to the Jets at all.
Okay. They was talking about him might be a number 1 pick, like some mocks have him. Like he moved up a lot. Like we
Yeah,
wasn't even talking about him in the first round before
right,
like the
right.
combine started.
That's the great thing about football, man. Is once you see these dudes at the combine, you lose your mind. Like the Jets a few years ago, they saw this dude Stephen Hill run a 4.3 or 4.4.
Wide
Took him in
receiver,
the
I remember
second
him.
round.
Yep,
Yeah, it
yep,
took him
yep,
in the second round, and he was never to be heard from again. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? So,
yep.
but that's the confidence that we have to have in the GM because I'm confident that Joe Douglas is not going to make one of those types of picks again.
Okay.
Oh, Sherwin said he wants the Jets to trade down from the 4th.
The Jets already got how many draft picks though? Like unless you get
We
some
got
for
4 and
next year.
10. Yeah, we got 4 and 10. We got 2 3s, 2 4s, and a couple of 6s. I don't know what we
Right.
have in this, and we have like 35 and 37 in the second round too. So
See,
they got a few. They got a few picks.
yeah. So if you trade down, I hope it would be for something next year. There's not any more picks this year unless I don't know. You guys gonna pay a lot of people at the same time if you keep doing that. You're already gonna have like 8 rookies on your team.
Yeah. The funny thing is that last year Joe Douglas was trading like he was moving back in like the later rounds. It was almost like, yeah, the Jets do have a lot of needs, but it was
Yeah.
almost like he was doing what Leon Rose and these guys did for the Knicks, right? Like trading from 21 to 25. So that's
Yeah.
what this did. Joe Douglas did a lot last year too.
Yeah, what do you guys think about cornerbacks, man? Because that pisses me off. I feel like the Giants, every time you look around, they're drafting a cornerback high. To me, I think, I know you got to defend the wide receivers, but to me,
Hmm.
as like a guy that's not really like a football guy, it irks the fuck out of me to see like money being wasted on cornerbacks and freaking draft picks wasted on cornerbacks. What do you
It's a
guys think about that?
it's a need.
It
They're,
is.
they're, they're like the second after pass rusher. They're the second most
Most
important
important. Yeah.
position on your defense. So you have to pick them. I mean, you don't have to pick them in the first round. Not every good cornerback in the league is in the first round, but yeah, you pick the talent. Like you want to pick the best of the best at that position if you can. So that's why Sauce Gardner is a really high commodity in the draft because he's like by far the number one corner. Like they have Derek Staley. He was he was highly touted too, but he had a down year.
Mm-hmm.
So Sauce Gardner is there. You go, Derek
Eric
Stingley,
Stingley.
number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sauce Gardner, his that I know it says 7 right there, but his his draft stock has went up since then. They talk about
Yeah.
him going like top 4,
Yeah.
maybe.
He's a good ball player, and that's the thing, man. Is shut down corner is very rare, right?
Yep.
You have Jalen Ramsey and then maybe one other guy, and that's it. That you can count on. That's going to shut down your best receiver. But Bryce Hall was phenomenal. I saw a stat recently that said he shut down some of these guys, who were in the top 10 receivers and kept them under a certain amount of yardage when he was covering them. So, and he's able to follow guys around the field too. So that's good. So that's why I think they don't go Sauce first. The
Mm-hmm.
Jets, it would be nice if they would get another wide receiver too, and I think that comes at 10. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because they have Corey Davis, who they signed last year. They have Elijah Moore, who showed a lot of promise, who they drafted last year. They have Berrios coming back,
Yep.
but that's a position of need for the Jets, and it's been one for a while, like a guy who can stretch. And they thought Denzel Mims was going to be that guy who could stretch the field and stuff like that and make the big catches in traffic
Mm-hmm.
with a large catch radius. So it's definitely edge and wide receiver, I think, for the
For the
Jets.
for the Giants, I know Eru. You say you don't want to draft corner, right?
Yeah,
If we
definitely.
get Sauce Gardner at 5, you should do a cartwheel for the Giants because we have a new defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale from Baltimore.
Right.
His defense is on like bump and run, like he being at the cornerback being at the line of scrimmage, and Sauce Gardner is perfect for our defense. He's actually perfect for the Jets too. Like he's gonna be a real hot commodity. He's pretty much perfect at every system. He like 6'2", long arms. Ain't had a touchdown scoring on him his whole career. Like he's a
Yeah, that's
shutdown
pretty
corner.
impressive. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
All right. But what the Knicks need for the offensive line, would you still do the cornerback over the offensive line?
You talk about the Giants. You
Yeah,
said
the
the
Giants.
Knicks. The Giants. It all
The
depends because we have
Giants,
7. Like you have to think about we have 7. So if we do get Sauce at 5, we should be able to get Cross or maybe Neal at 7. Hopefully, because somebody's going to pick
somebody's
Walker.
gonna
Somebody's
fuck
going
up.
to right. Yeah,
Somebody's gonna
somebody's going
fuck
to
up
fuck
at the
it.
top.
It happens every
Yeah,
draft.
yeah.
It
Somebody's
happens
gonna
every
fuck up.
draft, yo. Somebody's going to
Somebody's gonna take.
rise.
Yeah, somebody's gonna take
Yep.
Saquon Barkley second.
Yep. Yep.
The Giants, right?
Yep.
With no offensive
Yeah,
line, it's like
Fam.
crazy.
yeah.
Sith Lord for 4 seasons, fam. I'm telling you.
I mean, he was a phenomenal player, though, man. He was amazing
He
at
was.
Penn State. So if you go on best player available, I don't think it was a bad draft. I know Giants fans in hindsight hate that shit, but he was
I hate
great, man.
it. I hate it. I love Saquon. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wish we would have drafted Quentin Nelson. That was my pick. But, drafting a guard at 2, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And when did Thomas get picked? Thomas was like, no, he
After
was
that.
like 11th. He was like 11th or something
No,
like that.
Thomas, who? Andrew Thomas?
Andrew
No, we picked
Thomas,
him
yeah.
at 4.
4. Yeah. Yeah. That
We
was a
picked
great
him at
pick, man.
4.
That was a great pick. I mean, you could have had Becton,
Right. So
but he's been available, so that's the most important thing.
exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We had our pick of all the good offensive tackles that year, and Gettleman picked Andrew Thomas. I don't think it's a bad pick now, but at the time, his rookie season, he was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
He was terrible his rookie season.
Yeah. Gettleman definitely deserves a lot of hate, man.
Of course.
Poor guy.
We've been talking for 40 minutes. I haven't brought up Daniel Jones not one time. It's a reason for that. It's a reason. There's a reason for
I
that.
like Daniel Jones, man. I like him. He
Yeah.
can run with the ball. He's got a good
Yeah.
arm. Might not
I
be the
like
most
him too.
accurate, but
I like him too. I just don't love him. Like,
right.
He just needs some help. I think give him a little bit of space. I think he'll be able to. Because I mean, that run threat a lot of times is electric, man. Especially towards the end of the season, he had a couple big runs. That was this kind of just reminds you why we got him.
he gets hurt
don't know.
every year though
Yeah,
because he runs too much.
right.
He gets
I
blasted.
mean, he's running for his life too because he doesn't
Right,
have an
exactly.
offensive line.
Exactly.
You
Because
know?
the Sith Lord. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to
Yeah.
talk about the Giants for the most. Like for us, it's just strictly about the future, man. Like our GM was terrible. He completely ruined this team.
Yeah.
Roster wise,
Galladay.
cap wise, everything.
Yeah, you guys got Galladay. Shepard is coming back from injury. You
Every
lost Ingram.
injury.
You
Shepard's
lost
coming
Ingram.
back from every injury.
Yeah,
Like, he stayed
he's-
hurt.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
who
we have-
else is at wide receiver though?
We
Slayton.
have Slayton, yeah. We have Tony, who was the rookie last year.
Oh,
He's pretty
Kadarius
good.
Tony.
Yep, he's nice, but he was hurt last year too. So we'll have to see. We got one of the most expensive wide receiver rooms in the league with the least amount of production in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. I
So
heard
yeah,
Kadarius didn't
our
even
team
show up.
sucks. Like our roster's construction was terrible for the last 3 years.
How long do you think it would take for it to rebuild the Giants, though?
3 years.
3?
It always take about 3 because
Yeah.
if Daniel Jones don't work out, guess what happens? The clock just restarts again.
Reset. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about this kid, Malik Willis? Do you think that's worth wasting a draft pick on?
No, because even if you get Malik Willis, he's not going to probably play this year.
Right.
So it's like burning a year just to pick him now to see for the Giants. You talk about for the Giants?
Yeah,
Yeah. So what do you do with Daniel Jones?
I don't know.
That's the point. Like you have no idea whether he's good or not. But it's our fault that we don't know that he's not good.
Yeah.
How long do
the
you think
reach-
it's going to take Tyrod Taylor to take that job?
Week 6. Because Daniel Jones will probably get hurt again. So I give him
That's
6.
the only way. That's the only way. I don't think Tyrod is taking that job. I think
Oh yeah.
Daniel Jones getting hurt is going to be the only way that he gets that job.
Right. Like around after Daniel Jones get knocked around a little bit, around 6 to 8. Like it's gonna be right before the bye week, and then they're gonna switch it, and then we're gonna draft a quarterback in the next year's draft. I can already see how that's gonna happen, man, because he gets hurt too much. So, but we'll see.
Is next year's draft? I don't know, and I don't really watch college football like that to know it. But I read that next year's quarterback draft is going to be way better than this year.
Way heavy. It's like say this year, there's only 2 quarterbacks even thought of in the first round. They still might not go, but next year it might be like 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the talent pool is completely different.
That would be, of all years, that would be the year to have 5 and 7 and 4 and 10.
Yep. But see,
would be-
it's different for y'all because you guys have Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Like you still early. Like we have a year. What this is Daniel
Third.
Jones' 4th year.
Fourth year. Yeah.
So we're 2 years behind you when it comes to the quarterback, evaluating the quarterback. Like you guys definitely don't know yet. Like you can't say that Zach is good or bad. The problem with us is we're supposed to know if Daniel Jones is good or not.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. But it's not really his fault either because the roster construction around him wasn't great.
Right.
You know, and he doesn't even have a receiver that he can, or a couple of linemen that he can say he's grown with.
Nope.
Right. So that's another thing, man.
Yep.
But at least you reset the clock on the money because you guys are releasing a few guys that you signed the last couple of years.
But when it comes to the money, it's not this year because next year he will need an extension. So if we're already in the hole this year and we have to pay him next year, then that's why David Gettleman is a Sith Lord, man. Like he completely ruined his team when it comes to the cap.
You know what's funny is that we were in that same position where Sam Darnold we were gonna have to extend him, but the Jets were able to trade him and get a second round pick this year.
Exactly.
So it would be nice if for Giants fans, if Danny Dimes came out the gate rocking and you're able to trade him for a second round pick.
Would be nice.
And in next year's draft and you can pick one of those quarterbacks. That's the hope. That's the hope.
See. Like I'm skeptical about, not skeptical, but I'm excited to see what Brian Dable is going to do because he's supposed to be a good offensive mind. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how important he is based on how well Josh Allen does this year, right? Because if that's a big loss, then Josh Allen should take a step back, maybe, or not be as.
I don't think so because they still have. Even Dabo was the OC there. Ken Dorsey was the quarterback coach, so they just moved him up to OC. So I think Josh will be fine. I think he'll be fine. He already got their offense locked down already.
Yeah, I mean he's got Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, they got some good receivers over there.
That's what's up. Well, you know, next week I was wondering if we could do like an actual NFL draft. You know.
Yeah, I was actually like we can actually get on during the draft. I got a couple ideas. We'll see what's going on because I'm all into that. I'm going to watch every second of the NFL draft.
Really?
Both days.
Are you?
I'm a football nerd. Like every combine, every draft. I'm watching every second of it. I took off work to watch the combine before.
Wow, that's dope.
Because the shit used to be in the morning, but now they have it in prime time now. But the combine used to start at like 8:00 in the morning and then go until like 4:00 in the afternoon. I used to take off work and watch those.
That's dope. That's definitely an event, man.
Yep. I actually want to go out there one year.
That would be dope.
That'd be dope because they actually you can have fans in the stands now. It wasn't like that before, but now you can actually buy tickets to it, like the draft.
And the NFL's making money hand over fist.
Right.
That's crazy.
You can get tickets for the combine too?
Yep. Just like the draft. But you got to go all the way to Indiana to get to the Colts Stadium and actually get there. That's the only reason I think I haven't been yet. I'm not going all the way out there.
That's probably the worst part of the whole thing.
Right. Like I have to actually go to Indianapolis.
I have to be in Indiana.
No, I'm good. Like I just watch it on TV. I'm straight.
Shit.
So maybe next week we'll do that. We'll set up do like a draft board and you guys just pick whatever team, whatever players you need for the Jets and for the Giants. We'll just run through.
Oh, you mean like a mock draft?
Yeah, do like a mock draft. Yep.
Oh, because the real draft is next week.
Yeah, the 28th.
Yeah. I think it's next Thursday. So yeah, we'll have to do it before then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would be dope. All right, I got some homework to do, man.
Yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about Monday? Because the draft is the 28th, so maybe the 25th. Come back on again.
I'm down. I'm down for that. Definitely. I don't watch college football, and I don't really watch. I don't really dissect football the way guys like you who've played it. Like I just want to see somebody get popped. You know what I'm saying? And I'm mostly watching, the skill position players. I like to watch the safeties and stuff like that and see what they do, or the running backs and stuff like that. So I'm not really in it. But it would be interesting to kind of dig into that and see, what these guys, and just looking at film, I can see why people get so excited, right? Because you're like, oh my God, this guy was incredible and how tremendous he would be to help our team. So I see why guys are fucking all over it. But
Yeah.
you know, I
I'm
uh,
really,
I got
I'm
jokes
really,
to write. So
I'm really, I got jokes to write. I'm really interested to see what the Jets do at wide receiver. Like when it comes to actual positions, like I actually study the wide receiver position, like running
yeah,
routes and stuff like that. So that's my favorite position to watch and do film study on or whatever. So I'm interested to see who you guys get because you have to pick 4 or 10 is going to be a wide receiver because you guys drafted Zach Wilson.
yeah. Here's the thing that I always say, right? Like we've had terrible draft, and this is my limited knowledge on the draft process and film watching and stuff like that, and not having watched college football. I'm like, all right, in the past, we've drafted terribly. We've had terrible luck with dudes from Ohio State, and Garrett Wilson is like top three receivers in the draft, right?
And
So
Olave too. They have two of
Olave, yeah. So
them.
those two guys know. So
No,
that's an immediate. I don't care what their production.
just because of the school.
I don't care what production they had in college. It's automatically no because they went to Ohio State, right?
Okay.
And then who is the other guy? Drake London. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Drake. We don't want any dude on the Jets named Drake.
Any
So
light skin too.
yeah, no light skinned dudes named Drake. We can't,
That's
we have
funny.
the coach is light skin. We have to have a limit on light skinned dudes in the clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? And I just have a feeling like dark skinned brothers are going to work harder. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nah,
light skin
man,
is making a comeback.
Denzel Mills is dark as hell. He sucked.
Yo, he got brolic. He got brolic though.
Did he?
He got brolic. He been working out, and I think this
Yo.
might be his trainer, like bigging him up. But yeah,
Okay.
he's and he showed promise. It's just that he didn't get on the field like he
Yeah.
was. Like a lot of times, we don't know what's going on with these guys. Like he
Right.
caught COVID and he was sick and all of these things. But who knows? It would be a welcome surprise if he came back and performed well.
Because to me, Mims, like I said, like I study wide receiver. Mims wasn't a bad pick. Like him being a bad pick is on Mims. It wasn't him actually being picked in the second round. He could have been easily picked in the first.
Right,
Like
right.
he was nice at Baylor. Like if anybody would have picked him, like he just so happened to drop to the second. But after that, it's on the player. Like it's
Right.
not on the Jets.
Right. Yeah. But I think scheme fit is also important too, right? Because you've seen guys, not perform well and then they go somewhere else and they blow up because,
That's true.
that scheme fits them well, or they have the something that plays that they've already studied and that they're comfortable with running those routes and stuff like that. So
Definitely true.
if we can trade them for another second round pick, which I think
Yeah,
Joe Douglas be having the mask and gloves,
Yo,
bro.
fam,
He's like,
yo, you
he
get
be
Mims
holding
for a
dudes
second
hostage,
round
yo.
pick, bro. You get Mims for a second round pick. You need like Joe need a statue outside.
Word. He's doing numbers so far, though. I appreciate Joe Douglas, man.
Yeah, he's pretty good so far.
Yeah, this is the one guy that I don't want. I know you guys saw it a little early messing with the computer. His name is
Why?
Thibodeau, for Christ's sake, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
oh.
think
Yeah,
New York can handle two Tibbs. I tweeted that shit out the other
See,
day.
as a Giants fan, I don't know if you do research on Kayvon Thibodeau. Very, very talented. Production is lacking a little bit, but it's his personality that might not get him drafted high. It's not his talent on the field.
Right.
Let's just say he's very, very outspoken and outgoing young man. Like he
Yeah.
thinks highly of himself. Let's just say that.
Must be the last name, something in that last name.
But you
Hey,
need
might
that
be.
in ball players, though, man. You
And you
need to
need
have
that in
that
New York too.
confidence. Yeah. But here's the thing. I'll say about that, Eru. A lot of the guys that have been drafted by Joe Douglas are like high quality, high character guys. And that's not to say anything about Thibodeau. It's just the story on him is what Jerrell said. And the guys that Joe Douglas is interested in, it's just a reflection of what he's done is like you were a team captain, you were a team leader, you're a high character guy. And those are the guys that we're going to bring in to the Jets. So if there's anything out there and also too, the production in college is not really there. But if there's anything to the Jets not taking Thibodeau, it's that he might not have been a leader or a high character guy, which is kind of weird because you just want to win football games, but you need guys like the Jets would have never selected Kadarius Toney. You know,
Right. And guess who did?
yeah. So that's
The
kind of
Sith
like
Lord.
his mo because Tony is a phenomenal talent. Like,
Right.
dude he's doing like fucking Xbox moves on a professional field.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's like a joystick, and teams were just scared off by that. So that's a real thing. It's unfortunate, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. You guys are already proven you guys are experts at football, man.
You think so?
Definitely, man.
Ah,
Yeah,
man.
letting you guys get your bars off, man. Let everybody know what you guys stand for and stuff like that, man. That's good.
Yeah,
Good
man.
stuff.
I'm actually excited about the draft. Sherman said, I saw the comment that you put up there. It said Denzel Mims. I still like Mims, give him a chance. But you'll know Denzel Mims' fate once the first round is over next Thursday. If they draft a wide receiver in the first round, his ass is grass. He's not
Right.
doing anything with the Jets anymore. He would be like their fifth wide receiver going into camp. So if I was him, I don't even know if I would want to be there. I'd probably request a trade or something.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really have any leverage, but yeah,
Right. At this
that's
point, he
kind of
doesn't have, like, I like him talent wise, but at this point, he doesn't have any leverage. So if they get Wilson or Olave or London, or there's a couple other wide receivers they could possibly get too, even if they trade down from 10.
yeah.
That's a possibility too.
The kid from Alabama is coming off surgery, but he's like, he's one of those dudes too. I don't know if teams are scared off by the injury, but he had great production in college, and
Yep. Jameson
with all the
Wilson.
dudes coming out of Alabama who were putting up numbers in the league, I don't think
Hmm.
that would be a bad pick at 10 either.
I like Burks for y'all too because he can pretty much do
Traylon Burke.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's nice. He can pretty much do anything. Think a bigger Debo Samuel. He can
yeah,
pretty
wow.
much do anything. Like, he's running out of the backfield, catching screens, going downfield. He does a lot.
Yeah,
So he'd be good, but you're not going to pick him at 10 though. Like, he's not going to be that high. You got to draft down to get him.
right. Here's the thing: we can either have another Thibodeau in New York or another Burks in New York, and I don't think Knicks fans want either of those things.
I'm gonna show you guys the number one sleeper. You see number 42, Christian Watson.
Yeah,
Absolute freak.
wide
The only
receiver.
the only reason he's down there is
Oh,
because he went to
Dakota State.
North
yeah,
Dakota State. Yeah,
he's an
yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolute he's an absolute freak. When it comes to the measurables, he's been measured the most athletic wide receiver in the past like 20 years. If you put
Yeah,
everything together.
it's funny because and this is bad, like you said, Jerrell. It's like him having all those immeasurables. It's like I saw clips of him just dusting
Mm-hmm.
everybody and leaving everybody 10, 15, 20 yards
Right.
behind, and it's not his fault. He was just playing the competition he was going
Exactly.
against, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be interesting to see how that translates into the league though. But 6'4", running a 4.3 40 is really good.
Yep. He was killing in what was that, the Senior Bowl? He went to the
Yeah.
Senior Bowl and wiped everybody up. Even all the big wig schools that was there, he killed everybody.
Yeah, and I saw him being projected to go to the Chiefs. Of course, you get Pat Mahomes, another
Man,
weapon, and
if he
he's going to
goes to
turn him into a superstar.
just because of the level of competition, if he goes down to like the end of the first round or the top of the second, and Kansas City get a hold of him, and they got Smith Schuster too,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's a
right.
wrap. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to win a lot of games. Let's just say that Christian Watson is a beast.
Well, Juju's probably going to be doing a whole lot of TikTok dancing, so I'm not
So
sure. I'm not sure how his production is
yo,
going to be.
man, can you imagine if he was on your team? I'd be so pissed. I wouldn't want him on my team, man. Let's talk about you mentioned Kadarius Toney earlier. He up there got a rap album out now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
Man,
go. But at least he got a plan B. You know what I'm saying? If the football thing don't work out.
He gonna need a plan B because he keep getting hurt. Like he nice and everything, but he keep getting hurt. He up there rapping on the sideline and then IG posts and stuff like that. Man, I don't want to hear that. Like I'm a
That's crazy.
football purist. I don't want to hear you with a rap album. Like that's nuts. Like your
Yeah.
rookie year, stop it.
Yeah.
That's the
Whoever
world.
knew that we turn into get off my lawn, people.
Right.
You know what
I'm
I'm
like
saying? Like,
somebody's dad for real, fam. Like
Yeah.
I'm old.
You're talking
yeah.
about generations and stuff like that, but not for nothing. It's true. I feel like everything has been the same for like the last like 30 years or so, as far as like hip hop and just culture and stuff like that. We've been wearing the same thing. I've been wearing the same fitted hats and the same sneakers and stuff for like damn 30 years now. So now
Right.
these kids, they basically got their own shit now. So
Right.
all the guys on the club dancing like this with each other and in groups and stuff. Like touching
In
themselves and doing
groups.
like this in groups. And where the girls at, man? You know what I'm saying?
Hey
Yeah.
And
man.
the girls at the
Uh,
bar drinking whiskey and drinking beer and stuff. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
oh
the
It's
my
young
weird.
God.
fellas let them have their fella circles and dance with each other. I don't care. Like I'm old, man. I don't go in the club anymore anyway.
Oh, man, the
Yeah.
chicks be smoking cigars and drinking whiskey and beer at the bar while the guys are dancing with each other, man.
See,
Yeah.
Crazy.
that's another podcast. Sir.
Yeah.
That is a completely different podcast. Like we can go there if you want to, but that's a completely different podcast. We ain't talking about football no more.
Yeah. Oh shit, man. Yeah, I got to get out of here. Appreciate you, brothers.
Yeah, man, it's good.
I'll speak to you guys next week, man. Looking forward to it. Appreciate y'all doing this, man. This is dope.
All right, man.
Cool, man.
Shout out to
That was
everybody
dope,
who chimed in on the chat, man. That was dope. Appreciate
Yeah.
y'all.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to y'all.
Yeah, definitely, man. We got Sherwin's definitely here. Julian Bloom popped in. A lot of guys are like wondering what the hell is going on here.
I
It's
know,
like
I
this
know,
will be
right?
a Knicks podcast, and
I
it's like
saw Steph a little bit earlier too.
yeah, Steph popped in. It's cool, man. It's not really gonna be so much football. We're gonna talk about various different things, man. But just something a little different, just to get us through the off season, at least, man. So next week, definitely, man. This is what I'm gonna do here. This is like it's like a heads up for next week. We're gonna do a mock draft. So I
Oh,
have you
okay.
guys coming in. We'll pick a slot. You guys, you can pick the Jets, you can pick the Giants, and then we'll
Fam,
just go through.
fam,
How many other rounds you guys want to do?
I do this shit like maybe 10 times a day. Just be at work on my phone because I have like apps on my phone that do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have like mock drafts and stuff, and I actually tweet them. Like I tweeted one out last year. Like every year, I always tweet one out.
Okay.
So we can definitely get into that, man. I'm excited.
All right, definitely. We'll do that next week, man. So for those that are into this, man, check us out next Monday. We'll have Jerrell here. We'll have Leo here, and we definitely. I always forget to do that. I wanted you guys to big up your the stuff that you guys do. On the side. But yeah, we'll wait for that for next week, man.
Yeah, we ain't worried about that, man.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Mr. Jerrell, man. I see you around, man. I see you on Well, me and State are going on 9:30, man. So
Really?
yeah.
I gotta see what my wife doing. I don't know. Because my wife be like, so what you doing for the rest of the night? If I say I'm gonna go on Eru show, she could be like, again? Like,
I
how
already
that
shut it
go.
down, man. I can hear my kids yelling and screaming in the back, but I've been on since 6.
Really?
What the hell with you? You know what I'm saying? Good luck.
I heard mine upstairs running around. I texted her like, yo, tell such and such to shut up.
Yeah, I had to do my little text too.
Yeah, man. The family, man, we always have to do stuff like that to get things going, especially when it comes to videos and have audio come in and stuff like that. All these microphones pick up everything in my house, man. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And you don't want to see me doing this on the side,
Exactly.
Because I almost did that a couple times.
For
Mute
real.
it, and then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we'll do this again next week, man. Thanks, Jerrell, for popping in. More ideas and more stuff to come with this.
Yeah, man, I got some ideas, man. Get some images up here and stuff. Like I got like tweets I want to talk about, and we go get it going. I plan on doing this like it could be going through all football season. I don't care.
All right, cool, man. Definitely, man. Thanks to chat for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.